Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel, just a really quick, this is going to be a quick one, a short one, and it's really important, okay? So, have a listen to this, right? Bonnet struts on the Prados, on any car, but on the Prados here, okay? Pretty straightforward to change. You know, they've got some clips there. Down at this end, you know, there's a clip. Some of them, they've got a little nut you've got to undo, like on the 120s are a little bit different to change, but either way, they're pretty straightforward. You might need a helper. The important part is change them, okay? Once they get a bit older and they're not holding the bonnet up too well, you know, this one, it's sort of up, you know, let's sort of, hang on, how do we do this? Sort of bring it down a little bit. I just want to show you, like if we sort of bring it down a little bit, it kind of like starts to want to fall, you know, it's just going to sort of keep coming, you know. Right, it's going to fall, all right? So basically, if it's not held up really well, nice and strong, what can happen is a little bit of a breeze and bang, it blows down. Now, it is really dangerous, okay? Someone's going to lose their fingers or something more. Now, let's just use an example. Let's say, oh, you know, you went down to check, I don't know, you went down to check your tyre pressure, you had your bonnet open, you're pumping up your tyres with your compressor, just an example, right? And you've gone down here and you maybe put your hand, you know, maybe you went like that, you know, while you did it. You might, you know, you might not too, but you might. That's just an example, maybe a bad one, whatever. Maybe, you know, you got your head in here looking around and you know, whatever's in there, right? It's dangerous. It can, you know, really be dangerous and people can get hurt. And it can be very expensive, can be very costly, because what happened to someone the other day was, we were talking about, put a video out talking about these radiator things that don't break off, right? And until you lean on it or something like that, right? So it's not designed to be leant on. So it's not a bad design, as I said, and we're not talking about that in this video. That's another video, so go back and watch the other videos. Really important to avoid, but doesn't mean it couldn't have been improved, and it was improved. Now, the point is, someone was, you know, whatever, up here working on the car, and the bonnet came down on them, and when it hit them, that's when they collapsed or whatever and landed on it and broke it. So these can break that. So by saving, you know, whatever it is, some money on some bonnet struts might not really end up being a saving. So as a general guide, if the vehicle's over 200,000 Ks, it probably might need those struts replacing. It may depend how much they've been used, what sort of environment. So just open your bonnet and just have a bit of a, you know, if it's held up really strong, it goes 2/3 of the way up and it keeps going all the way, then good. If you've got to push them all the way open and you put a small amount of weight underneath it, kind of like, you know, just a small amount, it's hard to demonstrate really, but if it's a small amount to bring it down and you need to push it all the way up, they're stuffed. We need to get them changed. It's dangerous. Now, options, what options you got? Of course, you've got genuine options. You know, we like genuine. This is one of those things where aftermarket probably would be okay, and we do prefer to stick to brands like quality brands if you can, like, you know, Monroe, you know, sort of, if you can see how much they are. There's another mob called Struts Australia. I don't know which ones are any good or not. This is not something that I do. This is an easy job, so it's DIY. It's up to you guys. I know the genuine ones can be expensive. You're just going to have to check your part number on your vehicle and see what they come up at. I would suggest that something like this shouldn't be any more than about 50 bucks each. So if your struts are sort of getting up to be more than, you know, about 50 bucks to replace those, yeah, it's getting up there. You're certainly going to start thinking aftermarket. So, and then some of the aftermarket ones can be too dear as well. It's one of those things that you wait for Repco to have 40% off sale or something like that, but something to put on your list of things to do if you've got a vehicle that's more than about 7 or 8 years old. Just kind of think after your injectors, think bonnet struts, you know. So if it's more than about 7 or 8 years old, I'd guess as a timeline, something to start looking at. They certainly should be fine in the first 5, 6 years, 7 years. Once they get around 10 and older, and I don't need people going to go, oh, mine are 15 years and they're fine. It does vary. Sometimes that's the case, and sometimes, of course, they'll fail earlier as well. But just sort of put it out there. There you go. I kept it short, 4 or 5 minutes. Bada bing. Change your bonnet struts. It can be really dangerous. Easy job. Give you something to do while you're in lockdown, or even if you're not in lockdown, all right? So you can figure it out. Get a helper. Don't try and do it on your own. It is helpful if you've got someone standing in the middle here holding that bonnet up there while you change one at a time, ideally. Bada bing, I'm out of here, guys. There was a short one. If you got something out of that, remember, subscribe, turn that bell on, give us a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments if one of those, if your bonnet come down on you and caused any damage to you or any part of the vehicle from having dodgy old bonnet struts. Same thing goes with boots and that, station wagons, hatches and all that sort of thing. Keep an eye on those, but really important one under the bonnet. The mechanics and technicians don't get looked after. Way too often it's the case that the bonnets are coming down and you probably don't know about it. That's why I'm here to tell you guys. All right, thanks for watching. See ya.